Are the Miami Dolphins for real? Led by quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and coach Mike McDaniel, they've been a juggernaut most weeks this season. And to be honest, calling them a juggernaut doesn't seem to quite do them justice, considering the 70 burger they put on Denver. It's been such a hot start that Tua has found himself in the MVP race, much to the delight of Tuanon. On the other hand, the Finns have struggled to put up points against quality teams like the Eagles and the Bills. Also, while the record is 5-2, their signature win is against the 2-4 Chargers. LOL. This begs the question, are the Dolphins frauds? Is their hot start just a flash in the pan? Or do those losses to good teams tell us something about Tua and co. and how they've truly taken the next step? To answer that, I took a closer look at their season so far and was surprised by what I found. I think they might be for real, but emphasis on might. First, let's talk about the resurrection of Tua Tagovailoa. Under Brian Flores, Tua struggled mightily. In his 2 seasons for the defensive-minded coach, he managed 6.3 yards per pass and 6.8, which put him below the unofficial Mendoza line of 7.0. His PFF grades weren't great either, with him grading out at a 65 and a 68. Despite all the hype from coming into the NFL, thanks to his career at Alabama, the posy vibes were all but gone for the Southpaw, except of course for Tuanon. They never stopped believing. After Flores was let go, the Dolphins opted for an offensive-minded coach with Mike McDaniel. In his first season calling plays for Tua, he managed to help his quarterback get to 8.9 yards per attempt, and it was thanks to McDaniel tapping into Tua's incredible ability to get the ball out fast, and most importantly, accurately. Tua's second year with McDaniel is looking even more like Tuanon is justified. He's currently averaging 9.1 yards an attempt. Not to mention, is currently 3rd in PFF grade, behind Lamar and Mahomes. And the offense as a whole could break several records by year's end. And it's currently in a league with the 2011 New Orleans Saints and the 2013 Broncos. To really emphasize the point that I'm trying to make here, those 2 teams were quarterbacked by Drew Brees and Peyton Manning. If that wasn't impressive enough, this offense is doing as well as it is in a year when scoring is historically down. But of course, is it sustainable? After all, they did start off hot last year, but were eventually figured out. In 2022, teams recognized how often they were targeting the middle of the field, and it wasn't just one type of defense giving them trouble. The Niners, for example, used mostly quarters, while the Chargers played a lot of press. The main takeaway was, if you can disrupt Tua's timing, you can disrupt the Dolphins' offense. To McDaniel's credit, he came back from summer break with new wrinkles. This year, the Dolphins countered by adding a short game and a running game. Specifically, he started utilizing this type of motion that some people call a burst motion and others even a cheat motion. Regardless of what it's called, it's been very effective. It's helped create misdirection for the run game and give Tyreek Hill a running start against DBs. Effectively, this new approach gave them a counter against if teams try to disrupt the timing of the routes. This was particularly effective against the Patriots in Week 2, who tried to do a 3-safety look a la Iowa State. Even more impressively, the win against the Patriots came after they destroyed the Chargers with the deep ball. However, this approach appears to have been figured out possibly by NFL defenses. Obviously, the Eagles have a superior D-line, and that helps, and the Dolphins are not going to face one like that every week. The thing is, they didn't beat the Dolphins thanks to all the talent they have on defense. They did it with trickery of their own, like with this trap coverage, showing press and then having Slay switch off to cover Tyreek. They anticipated that if they showed press at the line of scrimmage, they could switch off and cover the route underneath, because Tua would likely not go deep there, and would opt for the safer short throw. It remains to be seen if other teams will be able to use this against them. But still, it's concerning to see how reliant Tua is on Mike McDaniel. When things broke down in the Eagles game, Tua didn't really show any ability to work outside of the structure. Earlier in the year, he had shown some promise in that regard, against the Chargers in particular, but that was nowhere to be seen during the Eagles game. Tua is still far too reliant on Mike McDaniels and the wrinkles he's able to bring to the table. And he showed that he is incredible in the offense, but when the offense falters, so does he. Compare their dynamic to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, Mahomes has been very fortunate to end up with Andy Reid as his play caller and head coach. His career likely would have ended up differently if he had been coached by Brandon Staley or Anthony Lynn. However, that doesn't mean Mahomes is a byproduct of the Andy Reid system. When defenses are dialed in on what Andy Reid's trying to do, Mahomes has shown consistently the ability to create out of thin air with his legs and some downright bizarre throws. I doubt that Andy Reid is drawing up plays for him to throw left-handed. Most impressively is Mahomes maintained that creativity even after Tyreek Hill left. I'm not sure how well Tua would do if Hill ever got traded again. That said, I think the Dolphins might still be for real. In particular, the star-laden team is missing a few of those stars. If the Dolphins can get healthy for the stretch run, with Teron Armstead at left tackle and Jalen Ramsey playing corner in a Vic Fangio defense, they could still be a threat even with or without improvisational skills from their quarterback. If the defense can start creating turnovers and better field position for the offense, an increase in scoring is possible, believe it or not. And getting Armstead, an athletic left tackle, back in would definitely help with their wide zone run plays in ways that Mike McDaniel can't necessarily scheme up. Considering all that, I wouldn't count out the Dolphins quite yet. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, maybe even a comment, especially if you're a part of Two and Home.
You sound good, boy.